I'll do it.
Go.
Oh, you started.
I did.
All right, good. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Gamer Breakfast. My name is Jalbagel. Good morning, everybody. I am joined by my lovely co-host, SkojSkull.
Hello.
Say hi, Skoy.
Welcome.
There he is. And our beautiful guest, our fantastic guest, Mr. JanuaryAndOn. January, how the heck are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I got this coffee called Death Wish coffee. It was really expensive, but it's really good.
Death Wish is good. I have a bag of that in my cupboard right next to my normal coffee, which is the one that I do drink. My friend bought the Death Wish coffee, and I had a cup of it once, and I thought my heart was gonna stop.
Oh Jesus! What do they put in the coffee?
They have this whole thing about, I don't know, cocaine.
It has twice the has twice the amount of caffeine as like a normal cup of coffee. It's like an 8-ounce cup of coffee has like 10 milligrams of caffeine, and like this has like 22 or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's pungent.
It was also 4 times the amount I normally spend on coffee. So
yeah, it's also really expensive. Apparently worth it though. I don't know. I don't see the appeal personally. But it is called Death Wish, and that's a really cool and thematic name for
today.
Halloween. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween! Even though it's a week later.
We celebrate the day of the recording.
That's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
Holiday is gonna come around. We're gonna miss them, but we get to celebrate the day of the recording.
Oh hell yeah!
So that's why I decorated the bagel shop today.
Yeah,
as you can
I was
see.
wondering. You really you refurnished literally everything.
Yeah. Yeah, we even got a brand new store for it too.
Oh no, you're not sitting outside.
It's inside. It's just like a really big sunroom, right? You know, so.
No, I got you.
Oh, I mean, and we imported the snow because, as you all know, I still live in Florida, so we imported the snow. Even though it's fall and not quite winter.
Location seems
now
very
realizing
iffy. It's like a gas station right there.
Yeah, I'm now realizing that this isn't necessarily like really Halloween-y as it is Christmassy. So the store's Halloween costume is Christmas this year.
there you go. See, boom, easy.
So January, for those people that may not know you and know your shtick, do you mind giving us a little bit of spiel about yourself?
Who are you?
So my name is January. I am a variety caster on Twitch and YouTube. Well, Twitch, and put videos on YouTube. You can find me on all the socials at JanuaryAndOn, and I laugh like a dying hyena. I really like beer, and I will find a way to make your very serious game the silliest fucking thing you've ever seen.
Oh hell yeah. That's a good way to that's cool. Yeah. No, for those who don't know, I actually do edit for you, and I make your videos and everything, and I just I die of laughter every time. Like I put together your content. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think the first video of yours that I watched was the lawn mowing simulator.
Yeah.
Really liked that one.
Yeah, like if I could find like a very, very simple game where I can just kind of do what I need to do, say what I got to say. If it requires skill, I'm going to be bad at it, somewhat on purpose. At least that's what I tell people. At times I used to dabble in looking to play the game as well as I could, trying to be proficient in the content I was making. That's how I actually got started with Dauntless. For those of you who don't know, Dauntless is a free-to-play Monster Hunter style game. I think it's currently on the Epic Store.
Yep.
I am still affiliated with them. I'm still a Dauntless partner. My logo is still in the game.
Oh wow!
And yeah, it was a really fun journey with them, because I ended up finding them after rage quitting Overwatch for the last time.
Yeah.
And I was living in Korea at the time. I was high diamond in Overwatch. I had like a 65-70% win rate on Diva, grinding the Korean ladder.
Holy crap.
Jesus.
And I really thought I was going to be an Overwatch, like a ranked grind Overwatch content creator.
Oh.
And after, I don't know, a day of 30 people telling me to kill myself, I was just like, I think I'm done.
Jesus.
Yep.
In the game or just like
in game? Yeah.
Okay.
in-game.
Okay. Jesus. Oh my god.
So, I haven't played in every single region, but people talk about like League of Legends rage and Overwatch rage in here in the US, but I have never experienced a desire for like physical violence and rage like I have playing in the Korean solo queue ladder. I had somebody teach his team in voice chat how to say "kill yourself, American," like to his Korean, like so they all could say it.
What?
That is absolutely wild.
Yeah. So it was a rough one, and I think I logged off one day and I realized I think I'm kind of done. I don't know if I like this game. And
gee, I wonder why.
Yeah.
And as far as like content wise, I think I was like pretty much saying I was done. I didn't really want to do it anymore. And then I just like kind of went on to search for a game that I could just sit down, play, and have fun. I didn't want any PvP. I didn't want any sort of competitiveness. If I could play with other people, that would be great. And I ended up finding Dauntless. It was in closed beta at the time.
Yep.
Okay.
And on Twitter, they said, hey, whoever responds with the best GIF gets a closed beta key. And like,
What was your GIF?
Yeah, we need to know. This is important. This is lore right here.
It was a GIF of like, Jesus, of like a deer jumping on another deer, and it said, prepare your anus. And then the other deer immediately sprints off screen, and it hard cuts into a deer shooting into a bus window and running through the bus.
It was great.
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
You found a good GIF. I'd say that.
Yeah.
It was jaw dropping to say the least, and
that got you an affiliate.
Suddenly, a DM
position.
opened. Yeah, suddenly my DMs open up, and it's from the Dauntless official account, and it says, "Here's for the GIF." And I think they sent me 2, and the other one's like, "What the fuck, man?" And there was just a second one there. Yeah, and so that was kind of how my journey started, and it was just like, I had never played a Monster Hunter game before. I only had a PC, so at this point in time, like, this is what, 2016? 2017?
Wait, 16 was Dauntless?
Yeah, it was in closed beta for a long time.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And I mean, it wasn't on Epic.
Oh yeah, it did come out before World. I remember that because it was like Copium Monster Hunter on PC.
Yeah, and we can talk about my introduction into Monster Hunter from Dauntless a bit later.
I would love to hear about that.
I did not have a good transition, and I did not have a good time meeting the community. So when Monster Hunter dropped for PS4, every single day somebody, 10 to 15 people would come into my stream and say, "Why are you fucking streaming this game? Don't you know it's dead in a week? Don't you know it's dead once it drops on PS4? Like, dead game, LOL." Like, I was just like, go play it then. What do you want me to do here?
They were saying that for Monster Hunter?
Yeah, every single.
Really?
And then it happened again when it dropped on PC. Yeah, every day.
Wait, hold on. People were telling you Dauntless was a dead game because Monster Hunter was coming out.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
yeah, no,
I
yeah.
thought you said Monster Hunter was a dead game when it came out. I'm like,
no.
Wait.
Yeah, no, those were the and I know exactly what you're talking about because I mean, I wasn't streaming quite yet. I didn't start myself until 2019 when the game was like already out and was about to come out on PC. But I was still around like a lot of the community and a lot of those people, and I really do always lead it back to PS4 superiority, man.
Yeah.
People love, like, I don't know what it is about Sony fans or just about like this idea of exclusivity on Sony, but people like every single time it's like, oh man, like, just because World's coming to PC doesn't mean the PS4 community is going to disappear. It did. And like, I don't know. I know exactly what you're talking about though, but it's always that vocal minority of the community.
Oh yeah.
That wants to make sure that no one else has fun. Like, how dare you for having fun?
And it was such a weird one because I mean, that's how I met Skoj. Obviously, I played Monster Hunter World, played through Iceborne as well. I think it's a great game. I absolutely loved it. I played Rise as well. Like, I was just like, you do realize, like, you're allowed to like more than one thing.
Yeah,
like, it's okay.
Not even a little bit.
And but yeah, so going back, what ended up happening is this was before I really started making any sort of content for Dauntless. So this was 2016.
Yeah.
And they put out their first spear-like weapon called the Warpike. And there was something in my head that was like, no, this is going to be my weapon, and this will be the weapon that I'm known for in this game. And I poured a ton of time, poured in a ton of content. And it was the first time since I had realized that I was like, no, I'm not done kind of like trying to be competitive, trying to have fun, getting well known in a game. I'm just done with that game. And so I went ham on it. So I started speed running it. I claimed every single leaderboard for the Warpike I was coming up with brand new strategies that nobody had seen before. I was doing strats and dodges that nobody was even trying to do. And it was just really fucking cool. Like,
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
And that when I finally got back to the States from Korea, I got myself a PC, started streaming. And like I said, I was like, well, if some people show up, cool. If not, hey, we gave it a shot. And now it's about, I think, 3.5 years of all sorts of things from there.
Hell yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Like, well, going back to when people were saying that it's a dead game and everything, what is the definition of a dead game? Because it's just like, I feel like it's just people's own perspective of how they feel about it. Because just like, if you're enjoying a game, I feel like the whole definition of dead game is kind of useless.
I mean, it's just the vocal minority's version of like literally quit having fun. Go play something else. Go play what I have fun with. Like, you're having too much fun with this thing that I no longer have fun with. You need to go and do it like somewhere else because I said so.
I hate that definition. It's like, Among Us is a dead game. It's like, no, it's not. There's hundreds of thousands of people still playing it.
So there are 3 definitions I have for a dead game. It depends on, and it depends on how you're trying to engage the media. If I am looking for if I'm a gamer looking for a vibrant community to interact with, want to enjoy, want to, do all of these things. I want to meet tons of people. I want new updates. Well, Tibia probably is a dead game. Like, I don't know if it's still getting updates. I don't know if there are even servers of it,
Tibia?
Tibia?
The first thing when it comes up is Tibia Bone, and I don't think that's the right thing so far. Tibia game?
Tibia is just like a 2D top-down RPG from...
Oh my god.
MMO from, I think, I don't know, 2012? I want to say I played it in like 2012.
This was built in 2012? This looks like RuneScape.
I could be wrong. Yeah. It could be even older than 2012 then.
This is 1997.
Tibia's not a bone, right?
Well, Tibia there is a Tibia bone.
2003. Oh. 2003. So I was off by a decade. Yeah. Right.
Close enough.
Then another one. If you're looking for what's new, what's hot, well, then any game older than a couple of years is a dead game. And then finally, the broadest definition, and the one that I typically go with, is can you use it to grow as a creator? And that's a little bit more difficult. It's more difficult to judge. It's more difficult to define. Like, you can get, like every now and then you're on Twitch, right? And you're in the browse section. Maybe you're just looking around, and some game that you've never heard of that doesn't even have box art on the browse page has 50,000 views. And you're like, what the hell? And you click on it, and it's a person from Korea or some random, part of the world playing this 10-year-old game to 50,000 people and there's nobody else watching it, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless you got the clout to bring it with you, that is, in all intents and purposes, a dead game for a creator.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you also have the ability to play and force different directories. Like, I remember I did Cooking Simulator. Cooking Simulator had no... Sorry, Twitch, TOS. Cooking Simulator had 0 viewers, so I'm not going to go stream in that directory. That'd just be stupid. So I took the clout I have and I went into Just Chatting, and people scrolling through recognized the game and wanted to be a part of the stream. Like,
Yeah.
So it's, as far as like maining a game, I don't know, if anything has less than 50 viewers on average, you're probably shooting yourself in the foot. So I think that's pretty fair when 50 viewers or less.
Definitely. I
Exactly
can see that.
the position that Rise is in right now. It's so unfortunate for like Monster Hunter creators because Rise is just not it's not a Twitch game, unfortunately. There's no camaraderie or excitement around it in the Twitch sector, and I really do think it's just the successive world that shot Rise in the foot.
Yeah, what does Cup say? If it's on Switch, it don't do well on Twitch.
I mean, but like, unfortunately, that's not wrong because like Nintendo games are notorious for just not doing well on Twitch because of copyright issues.
Well, not just that,
and then
but
outside of that,
captured.
Even just like, oh yeah, no, capturing off of consoles is expensive.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone can afford to do that. It's accessible now, at least now that we have a Nintendo device that can HDMI capture.
Yeah, that's crazy. The Wii U
can. The Wii U can. It sure can, can't it?
Yeah, but
in like 640p or something.
See, that's something I never even thought about because
it's accessibility too.
Yeah, I mean, so one thing that I do it because my wife loves like playing online on the Switch. I hate paying for a console, paying for my own internet, and then paying to use my console on my internet. Like that, I want to stab myself in the eyes, swiping my credit card. Like, I would never do that with my PC.
Asinine.
Like, and it's, I don't really like subscription bases for games, but I also realize if I'm paying specifically for that infrastructure on that game, then great. Yeah. I feel like if I'm paying
subscription for an MMO is a little different than a subscription for a game that you already bought just to be able to play it online with other people.
Yeah. And I don't know. So there is that barrier for entry. I also struggle with it because I hate controllers. I will force a game into mouse and keyboard no matter what it is. Dark Souls 1, keyboard and mouse, let's go. I'll do it.
Damn. I can't. I can't. I'm both. I can't play Final Fantasy with a controller because I feel like that's just way too many buttons on a controller.
I don't like this. I don't like it. It's awful. Like, let me be free.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I'm more of the game, asks for what kind of controller it wants, right? Like if I'm playing like a game that has like 6 buttons, I'm doing it on a controller.
Yeah.
I can definitely see though, like where a game like Monster Hunter or Dauntless or Souls, like it does feel a lot more comfortable on keyboard and mouse because you got all these buttons and you got all those actions. Every action can be its own button.
Yeah.
Because like I've started paying attention a little bit when I'm playing Monster Hunter to like what my fingers are doing on a controller, and I'm like, I'm hitting like 9 buttons right now.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that about like all of those games, with the exception of like Dauntless, are like were designed with controller in mind.
Monster Hunter has always been designed on portable consoles.
Yeah.
So it's always been designed with controller in mind.
And so it's always so weird because you basically have to open the game and remap just about everything. Because sometimes I feel like, and this was especially true with, I want to say Dark Souls 3. I'm pretty sure the person who did the button mapping for Dark Souls 3 defaults had never seen a mouse and keyboard before. Like it was ridiculous trying. You had to remap everything
L sounds good for an attack. Let's use L.
Yeah, it was.
It's on the other side. It's like, I don't know, January, I don't know if you saw this, the keyboard and mouse bindings for the Rise demo on PC.
Oh, I actually didn't. I wanted to look into it, but I actually just didn't have the time.
Some of them are absolutely asinine. Like, some of them are like wildly catered. Like, Longsword's special sheath animation has its own designated keybind. But like on controller, it's 4 buttons, you know. But on keyboard and mouse, it's literally, you can just set its own keybind. But then we have Gunlance with its special attack, you know, the Wormstake Blast. Which, if you want to do that, you have to hit left click, right click, and center click.
All 3. You just smack your mouse on the top.
Simply, to Wyvern's Fire, just grab your mouse and just crush it.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
It's so insane though, because like some people start designing button layouts without testing them at all, and it's just like, are you okay? Like, who hurt you?
And it's, I think probably the rationale there is 90% of people, probably more so, are going to just use whatever controller they have on their PC.
Yeah. I mean, the game is designed for it, like you said earlier.
And I know, like, I'm not a huge fan of Nintendo's controllers. They're already smaller than I would like. And so I know a lot of people seem to use the Xbox connector to, like, you can get an adapter for the Nintendo Switch, and it can use... You can use like a number of things. Yeah, I know a lot of people are doing that as well. I'm excited for the launch. I'm not excited to buy the game again. I told myself I shouldn't do it, but
yeah,
I probably will.
Yeah, yeah. I've already got it. I'm ready.
I do not think I'll be buying the. I don't think I'll be buying the
expansion on Switch.
Expansion on Switch.
No, I don't. I'm not sure if I'll be either. Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be caught up by then, or if we have to wait like we did with World. I'm not totally sure. I haven't kept up with it.
So the roadmap right now says that they will be caught up. When we get Rise release on PC, it'll be the September, the most recent, or October patch. It's gonna be the most recent patch that we just had with the Mega Man stuff, Sonic stuff. That's what's going to release on PC, if I remember correctly.
So everything's wait, is everything just going to be released at once then? We're just going to have everything on PC?
Yeah, we're going to have all of the updates and all of the event quests and all of that, all the way up until that patch on PC, like when it comes out.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be literally 6 months of updates, and the game will be actually in its finished form on release. So, you know, you'll be able to go and do the actual end of the game instead of having to wait 4 months to get it.
Yeah,
that'll be really neat. I actually just did that. Well, I don't know if it's the end of the game, but I just did the thing where you fight Narwa and
Ibushi
at the same time, and then they fall through the floor and you fight down there again. I did that just for the first time, like last week.
It's a pretty fun fight. Yeah,
I think I got to. I finished the release game, and I saw what was coming, and I was like, I am kind of done. I'm just kind of bored.
I haven't picked it up and like actually played it since All Mother came out. Like, I don't really care for the collaborative events. You know, I would have been a lot more excited if they were more like 4U's events where it was Nintendo IPs with it. But I understand why we don't have that, because the game's coming to PC and Nintendo's like, we don't want our stuff on a computer.
Yep.
So like, I get that.
And that's, I don't know. That's one of the things that's just like, you never thought that with such an ability for cross-platform, cross save, with the incredible talent that developers have shown, what they work with, I never thought that we would start getting like, where exclusives are a business decision now, not a technical issue.
Yeah.
Right. It was at one point in time, it was, yeah, we're a small dev team. We could afford this Xbox, and I'm sorry. Maybe we'll try and port it if we get some money. Now it's, okay, how can we make the most amount of money in the first 2 years? Then can we do something else with it in its next life? And now, like, at least Sony's finally doing that.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War,
Which is
Bloodborne,
like,
you cowards.
Bloodborne,
dude,
please.
Bloodborne. I
Come
just
on.
want Bloodborne.
Come on.
There is nothing more painful than fighting, having like probably the most fluid of the Soulsborne games.
It's so nice.
As you're fighting something and you drop to like 15 FPS. It's just like,
Just for no reason.
how is this the best, like the most fluid looking one that like, like at least in Dark Souls 1 with like Blighttown, you don't want to be there. You want to leave the second you, I don't know if you've played Dark Souls 1.
I haven't yet, no.
But there's a
to.
section called Blighttown, which
I do know Blighttown.
on release tanked the FPS.
Yeah.
Really?
And in fact, it is so poorly optimized and it's such a shit area that it still struggles on today's PCs. Like it's
Really?
the area just fucking destroys the game. And I think like,
Poorly
even the
optimized.
developers knew that nobody wanted to be there because there are enemies that if you kill them once, they never respawn. So you can basically just run through as fast as possible. Like they're these little like poison dart assholes, and like everybody hated them. Nobody's like, oh yeah, the poison dart things, let's go. And like so they never respawn. Yeah.
Jesus.
And so yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird that we went from a technical problem, then just went straight over the complete possibility of simultaneous release on all platforms at all the time, to we just jumped over that, and now we're completely in business decisions, how to get the most life out of your game. And on some level, we should have seen this coming, right? Like, how many versions of Endgame do you think have been released?
Endgame for Dark Souls?
On physical media.
Oh.
No, Endgame like Avengers
the
Endgame.
Marvel movie. Yeah, okay.
We've got like the special edition, the fucking extended edition. We've got the Ultra HD UD4 version that has digital download as well. Like,
did you know that after the Snyder Cut was released, they contemplated on releasing a 6-hour cut of Endgame?
Insane.
I don't know if it was true or not, but I've heard that they were contemplating it, and I'm just like, who would sit in a movie theater for 6 hours? That's literally 3 movies in one sitting.
I've watched the extended editions of Lord of the Rings in the theater.
In the theater?
Mm-hmm.
How long is that?
All 3 extended editions.
It's like 12 hours long, right?
Yeah, it's something like that. It extended editions length. Oh god, no! I want to know all 3 of them combined. What's the combined length?
Do math, Jal. You got this.
No, I couldn't possibly do the math. I'm looking for someone else that did it for me. 3 films totals 11 hours, 23 minutes, and 59 seconds.
Yeah.
You watched all 3 of them at once?
11.4 hours to within a second. Had it been cut to a single film, it would have been 11 hours. So that's like excluding like credits and you know, intro and stuff like that. So yeah, it's 11 hours of movie, all 3 extended editions all at once. I think
I plan on watching
they split it up into 2 days. So you'd watch like I think we watched like the first like 1.5 for like 6 hours, and then the end of it, and then the last of it for the next 6 hours. So remember, I was at a movie theater 2 days in a row. It was a whole thing.
I couldn't do it.
Awesome.
I couldn't do it.
Wait, the movie theaters did that?
Was great.
I don't know. So like, don't get me wrong. I had an incredible time with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because I mean, what I saw the original Iron Man in theaters.
Really?
Like, so yeah, I got to go, and I was pretty. It was 2008, so I would have been 18.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah, and
it was a while ago.
I remember when credits rolled on Endgame, Avengers Endgame. Part of me was like, "What a ride! Wow."
Yeah.
The other half was like, "Fucking finally." Like, I am so exhausted. Like, I am like, from plot lines to different like things jumping all over the place. And I have not seen a superhero movie in the theater since.
Oh, it's even worse right now with like they're introducing the multiverse thing now. So it's just like they're like including the possibilities that just like, okay, these guys are now part of the universe. But they're like from a different timeline, or they're from this timeline. I'm like watching these different shows, and I'm just like, this is a lot to keep up with.
If you ever kept up with like, because like that's how I know like one of the big gripes right now is like the new Spider-Man concepts, the new Spider-Man movie that's coming out is like literally 3 different Spider-Mans or 4 different Spider-Men, all like these different alternate universes. Yeah. And if you ever watch, or like, if you've ever like read the comics for Spider-Man, that's just what they did. Like that was the comics. You know, it was like multiverse theory was a part of the comics. Like having all these different Spider-Men, like, you know, crossover episode with each other was just a part of the comics. Like it's insane. And now like everyone's starting to get a taste of that. And they're like, wait, what do you mean this is canon? Like, what do you mean this is just how the comics were originally written? And everyone's just realizing it's just, you know, American anime.
Yeah. Well, like I was sitting there thinking like, I swear, and I'd have to look it up, but I swear the trailer for the Eternals actually explains why they weren't part of the whole Thanos fight. And I hope it's a good movie. I hope, you know, if you enjoy the Eternals, I'm not going to shit on you for that. I have no interest in seeing it. But if your own universe has to explain in the trailer why you are not part of the previous End World event, but you're part of this End World event, you've got too many End World events. Like,
it's too much going on right now.
Well, because like, and that's like the biggest problem about, because I mean, what they're doing with cinematic universes is they're trying to keep it linear, because everyone can follow a line, no problem, right? And so they're still trying to keep this
Iron Man
accessible.
10 game works so well.
Yeah,
this is one timeline
because it's literally one timeline. Yeah, no, it works perfectly. And so the idea here would be burn it down. That doesn't exist. Let's start a new timeline. But they aren't doing that. They're still operating in that same kind of like canon universe. And this was something that crap, I don't know when the last time I talked about this was, but the Falcon and the Winter Soldier
that was
show
good.
that was on. It's really good. Yeah, and that continues the Endgame arc, right? Yeah. But it's leading into something else that's really smart. But like just the same thing about, you know, how do we make as much money as possible from these things? That's a television show that aired on a subscription-based service that was limited release, that they were saying that they're going to, you know, remove the beginning episodes, so you couldn't just like buy a month and then just watch it all at once and then just stop. The same thing that they wanted to do with Mandalorian. I don't know if they ever did that.
What?
Like Disney Plus was talking about. Like I remember there was talk about like Disney Plus was going to take out like the first 2 episodes of the show when the last 2 aired. Yeah. And so you couldn't just buy a month of a subscription to watch the whole thing and then cancel it, which is what I was going to do.
Yeah.
So I just said, screw it, I just won't buy Disney Plus.
They didn't do that though.
I mean,
they didn't.
They didn't? Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, because on some level, like, I mean, we can, you know, Nintendo is dealing with this right now, right? Like, if there is a lack of accessibility, a very smart, very well engineered pirate system will come up.
Oh yeah.
And it's just there's no way you can stop it. So all media companies need to find this middle ground between making money, being fairly, and being accessible.
Well, how have they been going before? Are they just greedy?
I mean, of course they're greedy, but I mean, businesses have to be, because like, you know, if you get like, so what, Disney goes, oh, we made 18 billion last year.
Should have been
Nobody
20.
goes, yeah, exactly. Nobody goes, you know, that's enough.
Yeah.
They're like,
they
no,
always want more.
It needs to be 19 billion or you're getting fired. Like, and so I don't know. But at the same time, if we want I don't know who was asking for it, but if we want like a 15-year franchise to get yearly releases, sometimes 2 to 3 versions of it in a year, it has to be profitable.
Yeah. What was the time between Endgame Part 1 and Part 2? Like how much time was there? It was a year?
It was Infinity War, in 2018, and then an Endgame in 2019.
Because like for me, I remember I like blinked, and like they were both out, and I was like, holy shit! Like, has it really been a year?
Yeah. Oh yeah, a year went by fast. But no, it was like so many memes as well. It was really funny because it was just like the father to their kids just being like, they show them Infinity War, and it's like, oh, when are we gonna watch Endgame? Next year. You're gonna go through what I went through.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it was funny.
But hitting on that Nintendo topic,
Oh boy.
because I mean, Skoj, we just signed up for a family plan, like a bunch of us. So this actually makes sense. But who in their absolute right mind is going to pay $50 a year to play N64 games on the Switch? That is an asinine amount of money, from like, in my opinion.
Because didn't it used to be 15?
The subscription right now is 10. For Nintendo Online, the subscription is $10 a year. And now they're like, hey, let's N64 games, but pay us more.
Yeah. I was super hyped. My nostalgia was absolutely on fire. I was ready to go. As I am lucky enough where I let my nostalgia tell me how good of a game Ocarina of Time was, but the gamer in me knows some of the issues with it. But I was ready. I was excited to dive back into it. I can still remember the first time I went to, was it the Gerudo Valley, and that song kicks in and you can jump off the waterfall and Link does that really well animated dive. Like, I have such rich memories of that. And then the price came up and I was like, well, I've got YouTube. I can just rewatch that.
Yeah, I can just do it there.
Yeah. And again, this goes back. I'm sorry, like, you're trying to battle the emulation scene, which has had incredibly dedicated, good, like, armchair developers. Maybe that's rude. At-home developers who are keeping a scene alive without your $1 million campaign. So maybe you don't deserve the 50 a year.
Yeah.
And then
That's
I think they've already shown that there's some performance issues with them. Like, they're not exactly the best ports.
I don't know what it was exactly.
I don't know yet.
But I've seen some clips online where it was just like literally people lagging online, but then people were replying saying, no, this is just your internet. So because
I saw some some screenshots of what Zelda Ocarina of Time looked like, and apparently it looks worse than the Wii U version.
It's probably true.
Which
because just like how the downscaling works and on handheld or just like on Switch, like in docked mode, because like the downscaling with handheld. The downscaling in handheld would probably really mess with that game's resolution.
Yeah.
You know, just like most N64 games, because polygons don't downscale well, because then they start to overlap and stuff like the actual programming around downscaling a polygon-based game like that is sketchy. But, I mean, I can see it, because I mean, we saw the same stuff on the Wii Virtual Console, right? Like when we're playing Wii games, like Pokemon Snap on the Wii has some really weird model interactions, like every now and then. You know, just because of the upscale there. But I want to correct myself.
$50 a year, I don't want to hear issues. Yeah. I don't.
Because and that's the crazy thing too, is that it's not, the games don't download to your system; they're streamed.
Yeah,
all the games are streamed on here. It's the same thing with the Final Fantasy games that are coming out on the Switch. They're streamed to the console, so you're connecting to an online server that is playing the game and then being streamed to your console.
So it's basically Stadia.
Yes.
Well, I mean, cloud gaming is kind of that's, whether we like it or not, Stadia is the future. Or not Stadia specifically, but the platform.
Something similar.
Stadia needs to advertise the shit better, because I had no idea what it was when it was being advertised.
It's not on Stadia, but that
I'm just saying in general,
that will be the system of the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Stadia flopped, so they're like really on the DL right now, because their latency issues were problematic for the games that you were trying to play on it.
Yeah.
Like trying to play an action adventure game on Stadia was impossible, and one of their release titles was an Assassin's Creed game. Like, you just couldn't play the damn thing.
I know. I remember seeing a GIF of like somebody holding, like the camera was facing them and the monitor, and they pressed jump and like did a peace sign, and then the character jumped. Like it was a whole like quarter second, half second lag in like putting in inputs.
Jeez.
If you've ever used a Steam Link, it's similar to like that, but worse. Like I have a Steam Link in my living room, and I'll only ever use it for, you know, like browsing the internet or playing like a puzzle game, you know, not playing Monster Hunter on my TV out there.
And and I mean, sooner or later, that is something that's just coming, right? Like, you know,
I mean, I will say this though. Oh no, go on.
I was going to say, if we can get to a point where I don't need a $2,500 machine to do something 5 hours a day, and I could just get a small laptop and have access to that technology from afar, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the goal of Stadia, was to make PC gaming accessible in a consumer-based way, say like the PSVR did for VR gaming. If PSVR didn't exist, we would not have the VR technology that we have today. And say what you want about PSVR, it is affordable, it works well for what it is, and it's consumer grade. It's plug and play. It's the, you know, until recently, until we got what the new Oculus thing. That's literally
something.
It's the Quest.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's just like, it's literally in the box VR for $400, and you don't need a computer. You don't need any extra software. The Quest is just its own freestanding VR machine. That's the kind of thing that they want to start doing for PC now. Like that's the kind of thing that we need to be doing that. And the first step, surprisingly enough, Steam Deck.
Yeah,
I feel like
Steam Deck is the first really big step towards that.
Well, and the reality is like, people seem to think that like, oh, like the difficulty getting launch or new hardware is just a product of now, but it's not. This is going to happen every single new video card. This is going to happen every new CPU. And eventually, as more and more people get the video cards, the CPU they want, they're going to start upgrading their RAM. Then we're going to have issues getting RAM out. Then once everybody's got the RAM, they're going to go for motherboards, and they're going to keep. This is a process that's not. This is not just a symptom of the 2020 like pandemic kind of supply lines. We have more people using computers than we ever have in the history of like PC, office work, everything like that. More laptops are being shipped out. More everything's being shipped out. You have everybody else trying to get the same amount of stuff, which was once reserved for a pretty small amount of people, versus if you can get, you know, if it turns out you only need the machine for 5-6 hours when you're gaming, you know, it could be in Seattle, New York, Los Angeles, Miami, wherever it's at. Like, and a couple people can use it a day, but then again, the US doesn't even have guaranteed like high-speed internet outside of certain areas, so I don't know. A little bit of the cart before the horse there, I think, but
I love my metropolitan city area. I can get gigabit internet wherever I live.
Damn.
I am
Look at you.
I am 5 miles off of fiber.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that 400 megabit per second doing you?
Well, so luckily, actually, so this goes back. I recently swapped units in the apartment complex. I think I pay 120 for like 700 down and 12 up.
Okay.
And, you know, yay, Comcast. They're not doing fiber in this area, and they have no plans to. And they're the only real big names here. Yeah. And they don't offer any other upload speeds that's as much upload as they offer here. And apparently in my other complex, there was some old wiring causing me to have some weird upload issues. But it took me 8 texts, 6 months, and about 25 phone calls to get diagnosed with that issue. And when they gave me like, they're like, hey, this is the issue. We actually think it's an infrastructure issue and it needs to be upgraded. That is on us, but we need permission from the landlord. I was like, well, fucking go get permission and fix this shit. I'm paying for this. And my landlord said
it's
no.
a you problem.
Landlord said no. And I'm like, I pay to live here. This is infrastructure. This is your job to fucking upkeep the infrastructure. Like, and they were like, yeah, it's just not affecting enough people. I'm like, it's upload. 10% of people in this building even know what upload is, let alone whether or not they use it. Like, that's not my problem. It's an infrastructure issue, which is your job to fix. And they wouldn't do it. So I literally had to change buildings in order to get an issue fixed. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because it was getting worse.
I guarantee you that was the first day that they heard about download and upload speed.
What's that?
Well, yeah, like
what do you mean?
To the point where I don't stream a lot. At the time I streamed 9 hours a week, which is not a ton to be live. And I was having some sort of interruption or just complete offline, like complete upload drop to 0 once an hour. So every hour I was live, I had an issue, which is 100% of the time that I'm live.
Yeah.
So it was awful. So it was not going to work. So
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that. Yeah, we were kind of talking about that earlier though, like the cost of entrance into streaming, right? And it goes even well beyond just like, having the computer, having a console, having a microphone, even down to, does my internet work? Yep. Will I have electricity today? Yeah,
and I mean, there is what is that, like the cost fallacy? Like, you put in more money, you expect more results.
Yeah, exactly.
And with streaming, on some level, and I'm happy enough to admit this, I had more CCV, more subs, more everything. I had a better growing stream when I had a C920, one monitor, and a Blue Yeti. I didn't have any of the lights. I didn't have any of the setup. I streamed from a kitchen, and I had more viewers, more interaction, more everything then than I do now. So,
but a lot's changed too for you from then to now
100%,
too.
Yeah, 100%. And so it's not
content wise.
Yeah, content wise. So it's not 1-to-1. And I am also somebody who is happy to admit that a lot of the early success that I had was a right time, right place.
Yeah. A lot, and a lot of people don't want to say that about Twitch, but it's like one of the things that I always try 100%. To push. You could be doing everything right. You could do it for 3 years straight. You can have the YouTube channel. You can have the interaction on the platform. You can know all of the people. You can have a close knit community. You can do all of the right things, have the right setup, right audio, right video, right content, all of that, and still not be successful on this platform in the way that you want to be, because you're missing the last bit of it, which is actually just luck.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, this goes back to our conversation about, dead games. I had a 65 CCV in a directory with 300 people. So I was able to capture one out of every 4 people. Yeah. That clicked on the directory would come to my stream.
Huge.
And for me, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was live 9 hours a week, right? Like that's a huge win. I mean, you also have to I think another thing people struggle with in content, and I'm not a stream coach. I don't have any godly advice.
No, everyone's experiences, will vary, but your opinion or insight on the experience may be helpful to someone. We all understand that here.
Yeah. And it's just you have to be honest with yourself at what success means. Do I, on some level, you look at my raw stats and, I have what I have, but when I start comparing, that's when it starts getting shitty. And I think comparison is really huge, because once you compare your situation to somebody else, you're no longer allowing yourself to be truthful with your situation. I know somebody who maybe they grew faster than me in a shorter amount of time, Maybe they were in the right space, same space I was, different space I was, but they had the time to stream 20 hours a week. They had the time to capitalize on something like that. They had the time to do other things. They had the time to, they had more skills going into it with editing, post content life, being able to actually identify different markets that worked better for them than I was. There are so many factors.
Yep.
And I think it's really, really important for like a creator's mental health, to avoid, not only to avoid that comparison, which is a constant thing, but there's this idea of like self-esteem, which, you know, how do you feel about yourself? Well, self-esteem goes, oh, I am better than average here, but I'm below average here, which is still a comparison.
Yeah.
Even if you're comparing yourself in a good way, it's still a comparison.
Oh, yeah.
Versus
It's difficult not to do that.
Yeah. And you know, and it's so difficult, and it's when you have to go back and you really have to look at what you have specifically and look for the wins and what you're doing right. Otherwise, you'll always feel like a failure.
Yep.
Like,
I would have to disagree in some ways with the.
That's fine.
No. With the when what you said before, Ja, with it involves luck and everything. In some ways, it does, especially from rates from other people. Like that person would randomly raid you, your numbers would go up, and then other people would raid you and everything. Like your numbers would grow, and then you start like growing your own audience and everything. In that sense, I would agree luck is involved. There's a lot of stuff with posting videos on TikTok, posting videos on YouTube. If you know what works. Like if you know like how to engage the audience, being like, okay, this topic will grow because there's a beginning, middle, and end in 10 seconds. Or with YouTube, there's like let's say you have a video essay, you talk about like a topic that is topical with like, let's say Monster Hunter Rise, talk shit about that, or you praise it in some way or fashion and people are interested, they click on it. It's like, why are they praising it? Why are they talking shit on it? I feel like and if you present it really well, then your audience will grow fairly quickly from that. I biggest example from that, what I would have to say is Jin Jinx and Tuna Taco. At the time when they were growing, they were covering things that weren't really covered before. They covered a lot of math and in-depth like stuff from builds in Monster Hunter that no one was covering, and they grew exponentially from that like really quickly.
Definitely.
So I'd say that luck is involved in some ways, not all the ways. But yeah.
I mean, I didn't say it was everything, right?
okay.
I just said it was a majority of the thing.
Well,
Gotcha.
Like, because you like I said, because the biggest thing about that argument is this, that you can be doing all of the right things. You could be making it great videos, engaging videos, the perfect videos, but what determines that the person that video is intended for, the person that would enjoy that video, the people on the internet that want to seek out that content actually find it and engage with it? Because there is a shit ton of YouTube content that I know I would enjoy that I never see. And I don't see it until someone gives it to me, right? Because, you know, whether the YouTube algorithm just was right that day and recommended me the things that I wanted to see, or if it just, you know, hiccuped and it didn't do that. A lot of what we do is putting faith in the algorithm, that the algorithm works, and time again on Twitch, on TikTok, because my TikTok algorithm is fucked. I watched one video about I watched to a completion one TikTok of someone, you know, complaining about their Karen ass neighbor, right? And it was like one of those videos. Now I'm on Karen TikTok. Every video is that. I only follow Monster Hunter content creators. Every TikTok that I scroll past, I don't even see yours anymore. All I see are these Karen TikToks, because their algorithm is based on the videos that you watch to completion. And I watched one of those to completion, and now I'm stuck there. And then the same thing with YouTube. It's all based on like your clicks and interactions, and very little on who you're actually subscribed to. And that week you watched music videos, you're getting music video recommendations this week.
That is a really wild one to me, because like you're totally right on that. Like, 'cause I can't tell you how many broadcasters, primarily broadcasters who end up re-uploading to YouTube, stop their video to say, hey, did you know 60% of you aren't subscribed? And then push that on. And to me, if you're getting success but you're not getting subscribers, who the fuck cares? If you're already monetized, who fucking cares? Like, it doesn't matter. Don't stop your goddamn content to get a bunch of people who clearly don't want to click the subscribe button to click the subscribe button. And that kind of does go away, like, to this idea that currently it is in the changing, but like subscribers, followers, these kind of like half-hearted metrics that aren't that important, but are front and center of your brand. Therefore, we put too much emphasis in it. That's kind of wild, because say you have a sponsored content, right? You have a sponsored video, 2 streamers or 2 content creators. One may not have a ton of subscribers, get 3 times the viewers, versus one that has more subscribers but gets less viewers. Well, like, obviously you'd rather get your money involved in the one that gets on more views. Subscribers and followers does not equal anything. They're a completely dead metric, because it doesn't do activity. And that's why there's this huge push.
Yeah, I mean, those kinds of metrics are just checkboxes for the platforms. That's just all I wanted to get in there, because like that's all that they're designed for, is just a checkbox. Yeah,
and so I think the metric that content creators, especially live streamers, really need to start paying attention to is chat messages and how active your chat is. Like how much are people talking? Because that is going to be a metric that's coming. And I know Twitch gives us active chatters and how many sent messages. But what we want is how many messages are being sent a minute, how many messages are being delivered over an hour, because that's something that you can say, hey, look, when I stream, so like brand X, Y, and Z, beer brand, when I stream, I can get 60 active chatters per hour looking at what I'm doing. That is going to be the kind of content that, as this continues to evolve, as streamers who have been on the platform for a while, found varying versions of success, are now growing up into the people shaping the influencer relation strategy of the future. They're going to be looking for that, because everybody knows you can buy followers, you can buy subscriptions if you really want to. All of that is so easily adjusted through bad actors that it's becoming worse and worse. And every year, follower count becomes more irrelevant.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a silent nod there.
That's absolutely
correct.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely correct. Because like I can go. I mean, this isn't me bragging or anything, but this is a comparison of effort here. Your LOE, your level of effort. I had just over, I think it was like 2,200 followers on Twitch when I got partner. I have friends that have well over 10,000, 28,000, 30,000 followers on Twitch, and they still haven't hit that partnership. And it just goes to show that there is a huge difference in what that metric actually means. And that metric does, in fact, it means, unfortunately, nothing. Well, the biggest important thing is how many of those people are coming back, right? Yeah, like how many people are returning to your streams? How many people do you recognize every stream? You know, Twitch Tracker was one of the things that I used a lot, twitchtracker.com. If you search just Twitch Tracker, it gives you more metrics than Twitch does. And more accurate metrics than Twitch does too, because the way that Twitch tracks your metrics isn't exactly right. If you've ever been on the partner push, or if you ever looked at your partner average versus your dashboard average, those are 2 really different numbers. It's because the partnership average takes out your raids.
It also removes embeds, and it removes there's another one, like if you haven't been, like it also has a time. Somebody has to be there for longer than a certain amount of time for it to count as well.
So a lot of those views, you know, that average viewership, you're like, well, but like I had an 80 average tonight. Why does it only say 45 here? And then that's why. And Twitch Tracker helps filter that stuff out too. That's what I just wanted to mention the tool.
Yeah, I also really like Solinome is another one that I really like.
What's it called?
Solinome, Sullygnome.
Okay.
Oh, like the actual gnome. Oh, hey, look at him. He's right here.
I think they're probably two sides of the same coin, to be honest.
Yeah.
As far as like what it gives you.
Looks very similar.
And it's kind of tracking your metrics can be really tough because it can be
Stressful.
It can be very stressful depending on what your goal is. And I don't know, I've always been, so I'm pretty pro looking for outside income rather than stream income from your viewers. I do not remind people to sub. I don't at all. And I have a couple reasons for that. One, I know that I stream, so now I only stream 6 hours a week, so I've actually even cut down. And I do, on some level, like feel a little shitty about expecting somebody to pay the same price for my sub as somebody who streams 40 hours a week. On some level, I don't know if my subscription is actually worth the money. I like my emotes. They're fun. I have a couple cursed ones. I have some cute ones. You know, it's great. But I honestly don't know if I can truly say that money is fairly worth. And I also have a full-time job that I really like that pays the bills. So this was never something that I was hoping to kind of rely on. And so I went a very volunteer basis, and luckily that worked for me, but also lucky for me, I never needed the money. So that's another like luck situation where like I never relied on this income. So the income that came from it, I was able to kind of like take a step back and go, okay, well, let's, you know, a light there, a camera there, a monitor here, right? It was this stable situation that allowed me to kind of go this strategy. And I've done all right. I mean, I had a Twitch payout my very first month streaming. So I got pretty lucky with that. Like my first month streaming was 27 CCV. Like I landed running and I just kept going and I did all right. Oh yeah. And that goes back to our dead game argument, where I was lucky enough where the game that I knew I could stream, that I could do well, that I could play, had the viewers to give me that potential. And then this goes back to what you were saying, Skoj, is I did the off time to do my work to make sure that when I went live, my content was good enough for people to actually watch it. And I mean, and since then, right, like experimentation is just, I mean, I know that Skoj, you've been experimenting a little bit with your outfit. Like you've been having some fun with that, but I'm no stranger. I'm no stranger to playing around here a little bit. There is a video on my YouTube of me in a golden Speedo dancing to Sexual Seduction by Snoop Dogg. All right. So like, I'm not afraid to put my body on the line. So it's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, because I think you have to kind of experiment, and not all of them are going to work.
No.
Correct.
I mean, I remember when I did like a year-long use of a green screen, you know, and I wanted to try and do skits. I wanted to try and do dumb things. I got a wireless mic, and I had a 10x10 green screen so I could walk around and kind of try different things there. And I put myself in different spots. I mean, sometimes it worked. Other times it was fucking the stupidest shit I'd ever done. And I would have gotten more traction if I had just sat down and shut up and played a video game.
Yeah.
But as I've evolved, that's not what I want to do. And it's kind of interesting because I kind of put out a tweet recently that was where I kind of opened up about that. Where like, yeah, I'm not getting the traction that I once had, but I'm making the content I want to make.
That's like the biggest thing, is like taking that jump into trying something new because you would rather do that than the thing that's being successful for you now.
Yeah.
And that's always the hard thing to do, talking about metrics.
And I'm a kind of spoiled creator. I have no hesitation saying it. I have a sponsorship contract that is very generous with a really amazing company that basically allows me to take any sort of like creative freedom I want to with both their brand, my brand, and give me a monthly income to kind of be okay losing a little bit on this side. I've never been somebody who wanted to be a full-time creator. Like, I actually have no desire to stream full-time. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be. I don't know if I really should be. Plus, like, I have a career that I enjoy. I have a wife that would probably rather me have my bi-weekly paycheck rather than, whatever scraps I get from the internet. And so it's kind of this thing where I was lucky enough to, like I said, be able to really be honest with myself about what I have, what I can do, and try and let go of slipping away a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think if the one like streamer coachy thing I will say is you're going to lose viewers.
Yeah.
You're going to have friends that stream. You're going to go into their stream, say hi, and somebody is going to be in there that also follows you but hasn't been there in 6 months. And they're going to say hi to you, and they're going to be friendly, and they're going to be nice, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not your fault.
No.
They're not a bad person.
No.
But and you're not a bad creator for it. And I think if you can't rationalize and be okay with the idea that you're not always going to grow, you're not always going to be everybody's favorite, then you're going to have a really hard time. And what is his name? Aiden Ross. He is a large content creator. I think he does stuff with like Moist Critical, stuff like that. Posted something to YouTube the other day about how he's sad about streaming because he only gets 40,000 viewers instead of 100,000.
Oh, jeez.
And we laugh, like, right?
But no, that's like, it's the same. It's the same thing with all of us, but just upscaled.
If I went from my 30 to 15, I'd probably be a little upset.
Oh yeah.
I would feel like I did something wrong. I would feel like I messed up.
I mean, that was me when I took a break from Monster Hunter to play Hollow Knight. I was averaging between like 30 plus when I first started getting into Hollow Knight. And then over time, I saw my lowest average, which was 9. And I was like,
I don't think I've ever, this is really random and I want to keep talking about being okay, going, not being on top of the world.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a game claim a CCV as bad as Hollow Knight has. You're like the 5th creator I know that streamed Hollow Knight and it just fucking tanked their CCV. But it is probably my most #1 requested game, and I will not do it.
It's so good. It's so fucking good. Yeah.
I'll fucking tweet about it. I'll tweet about it, but I'm not fucking streaming it. Like, I see what happens when people.
I think I lucked out because I streamed Hollow Knight very early on in my streaming career, like when I was still averaging like 6 or 7 viewers a month. So I already got that one out of my system. So when people go like, "Are you gonna play Hollow Knight?" Like, so and so is playing Hollow Knight. Are you gonna play Hollow Knight? It's like, I already played it. I'm good. Silk Song comes out ever though. I'm screwed.
Yeah.
But no, I still want to finish it and play it though. It's a fantastic game. I don't think I'll do it on stream.
I think one of the things though that would be cool to talk about, because like while we're still on this topic of a positive mental health about your growth, because one of the things that I always hear people like say, especially on one of my least favorite places to go on, guys, hear me out. Don't go onto our Twitch, reddit.com/our-twitch to get advice about streaming ever. Okay.
Absolutely not.
I have had one good experience on our Twitch. It was my first post in the community in the community peer review, and I met a very good friend that way. One of my best friends in life. You know, he could message me, call me, or whatever at literally any time, and I would drop anything for the man. I love him to death.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first and only experience on our Twitch, because hey, this may sound crazy, but you're allowed to worry about your metrics, right?
Yep.
You are allowed to want to turn this into a job, to make money off of it. You know, how you swing that and how you generate that is going to determine your success in this. So one of the things that I always do for myself, and no matter whatever I do, is I set goals for myself. So that was gonna be like my question for you guys. If you're comfortable about talking about this right now, right? Because like we are gonna, it's gonna be talking about like numbers and metrics and like what you guys are comfortable. So you know, answer with
all mine up real fast.
Yeah, so answer with like what you're comfortable saying. You know, I don't think I want anyone to be like, I've made this much money. Like that's not really what I'm asking here. But you know, what have like recently your goals in streaming been, whether they be metric wise or, you know, like content wise, like what are your goals right now, if you have any? Right, because like that there's the other side to this, is that maybe you don't, and that was something that I was struggling with for a while, because for the longest time the goal for me was get partner. And then that happened, and I didn't have a backup plan. Like I got partner, and then everything tanked again. I was like, shit, I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have anything else ready after this.
But now you do.
I didn't capitalize on that.
Now you do.
Well,
now you do.
Somewhat, yeah.
But
we'll get into that.
No, I mean, like, make that a big deal. You are making a big deal. Like
yeah. So start us off. Like, I want to know somebody who realized their goals and then adjusted. What happened?
Yeah. So a lot of in my growth, my goals were like hit this average. So like, because I'm gonna be honest, I got lucky. I blew up quick. Another large Monster Hunter creator, TDS Chris, started doing 0% speedruns, Monster Hunter RTA speedruns. And so I started getting really involved in his channel and in his content and stuff like that. So my name came up a lot. I was always around in his channel, and his community started to filter into mine. And that growth helped me start seeing recommended and stuff like that. And it skyrocketed for me. I went from 400 followers to 1,200 in 2 months. So like it was asinine. So my goals were pretty like easily laid out. Hit 10 average, hit 20 average, hit 30 average. Those were my goals. Like, and I always made them, my number one rule about making a goal is keep it realistic and keep it achievable. You can be inspired, you can be, you know, ambitious, but making an unrealistic goal for yourself is only going to be, you know, it's only gonna lead to heartache. So when I started getting closer, when I got the partnership application unlocked, my goal was no longer hit these numbers. My goal became get partner. And that was the problem, because I wasn't setting myself this clear defined, like metric based, performance based thing. Plus I was also hardballing Monster Hunter like every day. I was streaming 120 to 140 hours a month. It was not good.
That's a lot.
Yeah, because I was also doing 12-hour streams on Saturdays, every Saturday for 3 months.
Why?
Because, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be transparent about this. The reason why I still speedrun shower percent in World is because it brings people to watch the game. I always have good viewership numbers when I do a shower percent. And so it makes me excited to do that, because I know that I can influence my success and the goals that I want to get by doing this thing that I know is always going to be successful. It's consistent. Whether or not that's good for growth, I don't think it is, because I've gotten all the growth out of Monster Hunter that I'm going to see. So like doing that more, it's not, Monster Hunter's not a growth category anymore. It used to be. A year ago it was. Now not so much.
Not really. No.
So my goals have now become a little more abstract. It's not necessarily based on average viewership anymore. I'm actually, one of my goals right now is to be able to consistently hit a 50 average on streams that aren't Monster Hunter.
There you go. I love that.
It's a really good one, because I always see like other friends that also stream Monster Hunter, but they do more variety. When they go and stream another game, they still have their 40 or 50 people that watch them on average. And I'm like, shit, I would love that. I streamed A Hat in Time. It's a 3D platformer akin to like Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Mario Odyssey, heavily inspired by those games. I speedrun it because a lot of my content is speedrunning. That's just what I enjoy doing. But I went from, peaking at 110 viewers on a Monster Hunter speedrun to seeing a 32 peak at a 26 average on A Hat in Time. This is not me being you bagel bites, you bagelers, you bagel shop patrons, show up to my stuff. I get it. I totally get it. There are some streamers that I won't go and watch them if they're playing other games. Like, if SkojSkull is playing Final Fantasy 14, absolutely not. No, I'm kidding.
You were there in the beginning. You shut the
Literally
fuck up.
was there at the beginning of your stream yesterday. but like I get that. Like, especially you see that so much in speedrunning. Like if I see this is a weird comparison, but if I see Linkus not speedrunning, Wind Waker, I'm not watching them, right? Because I watch Linkus to see Wind Waker speedruns. Same thing with Kizaron, big randomizer Pokemon speedrunner. I'm not watching him if he's, playing like Path of Exile. He was doing that a while ago. Or even, Forbidden Memories, Yu-Gi-Oh! Speedruns. Yeah. So that's one of my big goals right now is no matter what I stream, I would love to have the strength in numbers and strength in a community, a responsive, reactive community to no matter what I stream, no matter what it was, 50 average. I think that'd be really neat.
I love that.
That's a good goal.
Because like my stuff now is like it's not based on averages anymore. Averages and follow count and all that stuff doesn't mean anything. No, and I think talking about this kind of stuff is important.
It needs to be normalized. No one's normalizing it.
Talk about your averages,
please. It's okay. It's really okay.
Yeah,
maybe not on stream because you're talking to an audience and stuff. Yeah, no, it's I feel like it's not okay in a sense to really talk about it in front of your audience. Like in front of your audience.
Oh yeah, well if you're live.
No, yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Like imagine telling your community while you're live, while you're in the middle of a stream, like, darn, I wish I had a higher average. I wish more of you were here. That's just so off-putting. You just wouldn't do that.
Oh.
I know somebody who does.
Oh yeah, no. January
know a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
Who like says out loud to their chat, why aren't there more of you here?
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine Coca-Cola putting out an ad and it says, why don't more of you fucking idiots drink Coke?
Yep. Stop buying Pepsi. Okay.
I'd go buy a Pepsi right there.
And for the people who do drink Coke, fuck you. Like,
yo, wait, what if they did like backwards, like meta kind of thing? What if Pepsi made an advertisement for Coke, but in a backwards like psychology way where it's just like Coke, they present themselves as Coke, just being like, why aren't you buying more of our product?
There's actually a really famous, there's a really famous advertisement. Hold on.
What?
There's a really famous advertisement between Coke and Pepsi. And I don't.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
I don't remember which one it is. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I want to say it was a Pepsi ad where a kid goes up to a soda machine and buys 2 Coca-Colas. Like they see them buying the Coca-Cola.
Oh, I remember this commercial.
Yeah, the kid then sets them on the ground to stand on it to buy so they can reach the Pepsi. Like, so I mean, obviously that exists.
Yeah.
But I mean, and it's funny, it's like in the long run, like Coke technically got more money out of that exchange. Like somebody was willing to spend twice as much, like buy 2 Cokes to get a Pepsi. But yeah.
Well, going back to what we were talking about before. Do you want to go with what?
Yeah. What were you gonna lead on with, January? Your goals, your current goals in streaming.
So, honestly, my current streaming goals is to stop the hemorrhage, because I am basically like negative in just about every category right now. I knew that canceling a stream day would come with that's even like again, like that's more times. Like if I'm not live, then I don't expect you to stick around. And on some level, a lot of these unfollows and not doing things like should happen. I have still probably 1/3, maybe even 45% of my following are people that I met playing Dauntless, and I really doubt I'll ever stream Dauntless again unless some major changes come in.
Dauntless 2.
Dauntless.
I don't expect a ton of those people to stick around. Why should they? If they want to watch Dauntless, why should they?
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm also finally am able to know about what my actual following is, because on the front page it would be about a year ago now.
Yeah, you got followed by
somebody followed about 7,500 followers in 30 seconds, and it destroyed the entire. Like I had to turn off notifications for everything because it went on forever. And about 2 or 3 months ago, they got deleted. So I was able to go back down to see my actual average.
Yep.
And one of the things that I've been really understanding or trying to understand is how to get people to follow when I am not able to offer anything right off the get. So one of the reasons why I am very, very thankful, or why I'm okay saying that I am lucky to have what I have, is because if I was to restart tomorrow completely and do everything I tried to do 3 years ago, I would have 2 or 3 average viewers. It just wouldn't happen. I would not be able to grow using the that I had several years ago.
Yeah.
And so one of the things is one of the reasons why I was so successful with Dauntless in that directory is because I got known as the Warpike guy. So before anybody clicked my name, they knew. If you played Dauntless and were interested in the Warpike, my name came up. That was it, full stop. And so they knew what to expect from me before they even clicked the button. And in fact, I was so pigeonholed in that that I was known for this weapon, I would do X, Y, and Z, that if I swapped weapons, my CCV would go. If I did a hunt with another weapon, people would just leave.
I understand that. That happened with me with Incyclave in Monster Hunter World. I would use Incyclave religiously, because that's the only weapon that have over 4,000 hunts in. And the moment I switched to either Lance or Sword and Shield, my viewership would drop.
And I actually have a Warpike that I used in the dance video. It's right above my head here.
Oh hell yeah!
One my wife and I made. It's 7 feet long. It's massive, but it became a part of the identity. I have since, and then I also used to wear bunny ears. Because my logo is this angry rabbit, and so it was kind of this thing where it was all wrapped up hyper into this identity of angry bunny, Warpike, angry bunny, Warpike, fit, everything smushed together, push forward. Then, if you're just wearing bunny ears, my logo isn't in any other game that I play. People are like, "Are you a furry?" And I'm like, "Well, that's not really how I want to be associated. I don't really want people coming in, and there's nothing wrong with being into that, but it isn't me, and it's my channel.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really want it to be."
Yeah.
So then I had to kind of move away from that. So it's okay, so now I've lost. So the three things you got from joining a January Dauntless was you got really, really top tier Warpike gameplay. You had a logo that would become part of your character, and you could throw it in the air as well. Because my logo is a firework in Dauntless, so you can throw it up in the air and
that's neat.
Into the air.
That's so cool.
It was a really fun way they kind of got creators to be. So it allowed people to form allegiances with content creators. So you'd have people be like, "Oh, I've got this one," and they'd be like, "Oh, how did you get that one?" It's a nice way to get creators involved in your game. And so I had that going, and then at some point I would do something so stupid, but it was fucking hilarious. And those were the three that's what made my broadcast.
That was your brand.
That was my shtick. And here I am 3 years later. This obviously, and I'm 1/3 the shtick that I used to be.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love just trying to be funny, trying to find that thing. However, if that's what I'm going with, somebody clicking on my stream and getting 1/3, potentially just that, I'm now like trying to hit the smallest fucking bullseye ever, if that's what I'm going with, right?
Yeah.
6 hours live a week. So out of the entire week, you've got to scroll through 15 fucking thousand goddamn streamers. And I hope when you click on me, I'm at least funny, which is probably the shittiest business strategy of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is a terrible business strategy. I don't recommend to anybody follow me, which is why my current goal actually has nothing to do with live stream.
Okay.
Since I already know that I am currently working with a failed live stream strategy of 6 hours a week live, trying to be funny, trying to make really good moments. I already know that that is not something to grow with. I am currently working on making sure that that content has as long enough life as possible after it's been live. So I am looking much forward. Like, I am putting a lot more effort into making sure that my content gets uploaded as shorts, working with an editor to get videos up there as live, doing stuff off stream with my community to make sure that I can kind of like, I streamed less per day, or I streamed less per week, but the goal is now I have devoted time to mean that my super fans get more out of me off stream.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as like certain metrics, I don't think I have enough information to actually put a metric goal. I just don't. I'm like,
Yeah.
I might as well be starting brand new here, because nothing I've done in the past is going to make a ton of sense. I've never been somebody on the diversify. You got to make sure you diversify, because I've never tried it myself. I'm doing it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that, it's probably not a bad idea. I mean, my YouTube certainly isn't blowing up by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm pretty happy with the content that's going up there.
Yeah.
I'm fucking beyond spooked at just how intense shorts can pop off on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
like
shorts
you can have no following, no interaction, and you can get 10, 15K views off of a stupid short. And so if you have like a bunch of fun clips on YouTube, you are literally selling yourself short. Not to. It is literally, it takes moments to upload it. You don't have to have a following. You can just fucking send it.
You lagged out there for a second, so once Discord caught back up, because it just cut you, and you started back up again.
You
the
fast
video
forward
played at like 5 times speed.
we got it.
If you have clips, if you have clips, fucking just upload them as shorts. Upload them as shorts. There's just no reason not to.
Like just go for it. Have fun with it.
Just fucking do it. If they're literally just sitting there, just do it. It's like, why not? Like, there's no reason not to.
There are so many like websites. I can even link you guys some where you can literally just like put like a scene, 2 scenes to like the one clip you have from Twitch. You put into this website, and it automatically organizes it into a format for TikTok, for YouTube Shorts, like instantly. Like you can just like put that together. You want me to share it with you?
It's cool. Can you share that with me? And then also for everyone listening, put it in the description when this goes up. I'll
put it in the description below.
So the one that I use is called CrossClip.
Not opening that right now.
If you don't pay them, they have a little watermark. If you give them $5 a month, that removes the watermark.
I have something that's done for free without any of that.
Oh shit. Well, fucking link me that, because like
free is great.
Yeah, like I have, you can sit there with a cup of coffee in the morning and you can batch out 30 clips in a half hour. if if you got nothing else going on. And they're perfectly formatted for TikTok, perfectly formatted for YouTube Shorts. And now suddenly content that you have that's a year old is working for you.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I love that.
And there is like, and again, there is somebody who makes some absolutely stellar points. His name's the best Jared. And one of his complaints about how often people say, oh, you need to be on YouTube. Oh, you need to be on TikTok. Oh, you need to be on X, Y, and Z. Is he brings up how rarely people talk about how difficult other platforms are still hard to grow on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still hard to grow on YouTube. If it was fucking easy as shit to grow on YouTube, nobody would stream it. Everybody would just do YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and somebody in my position, I work full time. My wife apparently is a lovely person. And
apparently
I downloaded it all.
And I stream and like I want to do other things and I still want to have a life. Like my time is inherently limited. Everybody's time is to varying levels. And so the average person doesn't have 20 hours a week to stream, 20 hours a week to edit, 20 hours a week to upload, 20 hours a week to do YouTube, 20 hours a week do Twitter, and still breathe and still eat and still do all of the functioning adult things that you do.
Yeah.
And it is, and so like there is a lack of time element of factoring in how much time this stuff takes, especially if you're not good at it. I'll do a YouTube video and that length at time it takes me to make a YouTube video is extended by 60% because I have an idea in my head at what I want it to look. I then go to Google and say, how do I do this in DaVinci Resolve? How do I do this in Photoshop? How do I do? And then I'm watching a fucking 10-minute video, which of course I think, oh, I'll just listen to it while I'm doing it. So I actually end up listening to the video 7 times instead of actually just listening to the video once. And so there
that's how self-taught content creation always starts though, because like, you know, the more you do something, the easier it gets, right? Things become repetition, things become like secondhand knowledge. I'm that way with Photoshop. I'm almost entirely self-taught. I had a photography class in high school that didn't inherently teach me the basics to Photoshop. Everything after that I've taught myself, and I'd say I'm pretty good with Photoshop. I like doing that stuff. So the next step, because I know for me, I don't YouTube at all. And like I talk to Skoy about this constantly. The extent to which I do on YouTube is uploading a VOD of a speed run and putting the speed running language on it, because that's kind of like how speedrunners do that. You know, so it's like they aren't attention grabbing things. Like my most watched video on YouTube isn't even a world speed run. It's a stories 1 speed run. It's not even a stories 2 speed run.
Well, I mean, I feel like one of the reasons why that blew up is because there's barely like there's no content out
stories
there.
1 content.
Yeah, because no one has a capture card for it.
Yeah, and it's not. Oh man, that comes back to something else I want to talk about. I'm not going to right now. Oh no, my camera is escaping the universe. Oh shit.
Goodbye.
Don't worry about me. Don't look at me.
But
oh god, I made it worse.
You're fine. Yeah, go on, January.
No, I was gonna say so because I still want to make sure that Skoj gets a chance to talk about. I am currently in a process of resetting everything I know about what stream success looks like, and instead looking for new ways to judge if I'm doing things right or wrong.
Okay.
And that is inherently going to come with steps that seem like they're in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if somebody goes, oh well, this guy's not playing X, Y, and Z, I don't want to follow anymore, then neither of us lost anything.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not going to stream Y game, and that's the only reason this person was following me, then neither of us lost something except for some number went down.
Yeah.
Like they weren't going to come by anyway, so that was a worthless follow. Twitch doesn't give your rankings based on followers regardless. So, you know, that's bound to happen. But if it happens in mass, it sucks. It hurts, you know. But
Mass
it is
unfollows, unsubscribes hurt.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
Skoj, tell me about goals.
So my goal right now is basically transitioning. So like I am like I've transitioned a lot throughout the years that I've streamed. I've streamed since like what 2014, 2013. I didn't take it seriously until 2018 when I was getting into Call of Duty Zombies and then into Monster Hunter World. Right now, like my content has changed a lot, and right now it's where I want it to be, because it's just like I have it possible because I feel like I work better. I work well by myself as well, and it's like great interaction with the audience. But I feel like I also work better when I have other people in call. They make fun of me like on the fly on stream there. It's great.
So it's like, come in and please make fun of me and punish me on stream.
But
this is content, I swear.
But no, the audience loves it too. We all goof around. We're all having fun. We're all making fun of each other. It's great. I love it. And but it's a transitioning process, because it's just like people were there before when I was just mostly there by myself, and that's why I got burnt out from Monster Hunter World so quickly. Well, I guess not quickly. That's for 2,000 hours.
3 years.
2,000 hours is not quick.
Yeah. No, you're right.
But like I feel like I'm finally at a place where I figured out my content, and I feel like where I want to take the direction to. I'm also slowly transitioning to doing more Final Fantasy as well, and it's been working pretty decently so far. Like, in order to keep my Monster Hunter audience alive, I'm playing GU, which has been amazing because I finally have a direction in a Monster Hunter game. Like after Rise came out and everything, the direction with Rise, there wasn't really much to do in terms of end game content other than just help your viewers with their hunts that they need. Which I have fun with that. That's fine, but that's, for me, it's not as fun, and it shows on stream. So with having GU, there's like a million different things you can do, and I'm at rank like 230 right now, and I still have shit I need to do, which is insane.
There's a lot of game in that game.
There's a lot, but it's mostly just I'm really happy where things are going. The growth is pretty slow at the moment because I'm live streaming GU, which is like there's not many people watching the category. I'm probably getting a lot of returning videos from when I stream World, just stopping by again. So I've been getting like around 30 to 50. And then even with Final Fantasy, since it's a big category, it's very slow growth there too.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I'm like slowly transitioning into it instead of just being like, you know what, Final Fantasy streamer right now. And then that is just gonna tank.
Yeah. Well, and that's the tough thing is with that, is on some level, like I've tried, do a few hours of a game that I know works, then I'll switch to an hour of a game that doesn't. Or I'll try a couple days of X game, then do a Y game. On some level, your stronger content isn't holding up your channel for your weaker content. Your weaker content is bringing down your channel for your stronger content. And my advice, and something that I've seen with Final Fantasy 14, is people who log on to twitch.tv for Final Fantasy, that is all they will watch. They are there for Final Fantasy. And that is a tough game. And I found that with Destiny 2 as well. I found that with Dark Souls 100%.
With Monster Hunter.
Dark Souls even breaks Monster Hunter as well. Like, there are people, like, there are certain games on this platform where they log on, they click that game to watch, or that creator to watch that game, and they do not move.
Yeah.
And that's a really tough one. Because I've realized that as a person, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can mainline a game anymore. I think I'm just done. I haven't played a game for longer than a month, probably a year and a half. And I have and that's I don't know. It's fine. It's really weird to try and make content around.
This is something that I talk about a bunch because you know, I had a lot of friends that were aspiring variety content creators, and there is a fallacy to variety, because you see successful variety streamers that switch a game every single day. And then you see the smaller variety streamers that try to do the exact same thing, and it doesn't work for them. And there's two distinctive differences here. One is the level of effort and time. The person that's successful has been doing this for 6 years. Yeah, they have the community and the following that whatever game they pull up, they're going to have 100, 200 viewers, no matter what. One of the people that I follow, and I learned this early on from, can stream literally any game and can guarantee 80 to 100 viewers every single time. It doesn't matter. But he is also very smart about how he does this, because he's variety streamers. The two strategies: either one, you're a huge internet personality that can play any game and be successful on it, or two, and this is the way that I think variety should be done personally, is if you got 5 days of a stream and you are really community oriented, 4 days are your current main game, and 1 day is community oriented. And those 4 days, like let's say like this month it is Dark Souls 3, or let's just say right now it's Dark Souls 3. You're playing Dark Souls 3 every single day until it's done, and you're harboring a community around Dark Souls 3. But during that time, you're selling yourself as a variety caster, as a personality. And that's how you get people to stay. But it always happens that once you stop, maybe you peaked at like 100, 120, 130 viewers, right? While you were doing that. But then you're going to stop and you're going to be right back down to 80. Because tricking those people to stay with you is so difficult as a variety caster.
It is very difficult. You have to hype everything up. When I was live streaming my main game, like Monster Hunter, and then Final Fantasy is becoming that main game as well, I was hyping up about the new game that's coming out for Demon Slayer. I was hyping up about that game that was coming out. I was like talking about it every single day. And then by the time that I was streaming it, I was getting to like 60 to 70 average that day. That was insane. And a lot of people are saying, when are you streaming this again? And I don't see myself really streaming that anymore.
I'm not.
Well, I don't think. I think that's the right play. If you've got, if a stream went really well playing a variety game, and 7 people say, "Oh my gosh, I want to see you."
What? Sorry.
Let it feel
Say it
good.
again. You cut out a little bit.
You cut out.
Am I just fucking dying over here? My bad.
I think your mic is might be a little low, but you're good.
If you're playing a random game,
there you go,
and 7 people say, "Yo, when are you streaming this again?" 2 things. One, never listen to your fucking chat when they say, "Oh,
they're liars.
I will do this. I will do Y," because one, that's a minority opinion. Most of the people probably aren't chatting. The people aren't going to fight the other people. And 2, while that feels good, you have to understand that 7 people, more than likely in your metrics, is not remotely a majority. Like, it is, that would be like, you never only listen to your most vocal. Like, it's great to have them. They're wonderful. They can give you ideas, but they are not your most vocal person. Or they are not, just because they're your most vocal does not automatically mean they're the majority.
Yeah.
Or
even your most loyal, or whatever.
Exactly.
And that's like the biggest thing is you can't cater to the community. Like I had people that wanted me to play Octopath Traveler so bad. I finally played it. I hated the game. I think the game is beautiful, it's stunning, and I really wanted to like it, and it did not hold my attention. But I had at the time the majority of my community, which was 6 average viewers, saying, play it, you'll love it. Like, we love this game, you'll love it too. And I'm just like, I absolutely hate this. I played it one night and I just didn't do it again.
And and this goes to a potential viewer, like any sort of Twitch viewer that happens to be listening. Understand that somebody you like watching and a game you also like watching does not mean there's an inherent fit. Like, I am a loud idiot. Like, that is like my brand. I know if I went into Animal Crossing, I would not have fun.
Oh, it's my jam, though.
I love Animal Crossing, but I can't stream that game.
I think there are...
Oh, he's gone again.
The same 3... Oh, I'm gone?
Hey, he's coming back slowly. All right, you're there now.
Bro, hold on. I'm gonna do a fucking speed test.
But for Animal Crossing though, talking about that like just really quick, I find it to be
entirely different kind of content.
No, I know, but like we just mentioned it. I love the game, I absolutely love it. Like I have fun playing it, but like I only could play it for like, I mean, the game is meant to be played for like an hour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're pretty much done. But then what do you do after that? I don't know.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm
much.
saying. Like, there are some games where I've got like a couple jokes to make, and it would just be the same joke over and over and over again, and I hope it works. Yeah. And so that would be like my one piece of advice for a viewer, is to really understand that not every game is good for every broadcaster.
Mm-hmm.
And on the reality, there are some games that you actually don't want your broadcast to play, even if you think you do. Which is a weird thing to say. It's really aggressive to say that, but I totally honestly believe it.
Yeah.
No, and this is the meaning or the intent of this conversation too, is to destigmatize that, like, this is an intense thing to say, and to like, avoid talking about your metrics and your viewership
Normalize
and like
it.
wanting to have more. Yeah, because that's something that like Skoy and I are very passionate about, is making content creators comfortable talking about this kind of thing, because there is that vocal minority that will make you feel like shit for wanting to have a higher viewership.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
The people that want you to succeed want you to talk about this shit. Right. Like, I spent an evening in my Discord with like 15 other people talking about my metrics and like the things that I want to succeed. And they were all into it. They were all so infatuated by it. And it empowered them to help make my content even more accessible and enjoyable, and like, people want to have this conversation. The people that want you to succeed want you to talk about this.
Oh yeah, like my goals, I guess, then would be to get partnership. I would love to get to that. That'd be really cool. Like, I think everyone's goal in terms of live streaming is to have more emotes. That's my biggest thing. Like, I would love
more emotes
to have. Like, I have the emotes. They're there, but like they're in Discord.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing though. But like, so go buy what is the subscription to Frankers?
TV.
Oh yeah, I do that too. Yeah. They're all in there.
You can upload 500 if you want to.
I just want to use them everywhere.
Yeah, of course you do.
I'll just have everyone else upload on their channel. I'm kidding.
Well, and like, that's like, and let's be honest, like, what feels fucking better than lurking in a channel and seeing somebody use your emote without them even knowing you're fucking there?
I literally messaged one of my friends today, or not today, but like this week. I messaged someone. I was like, oh, no greater feeling than opening up a stream, not saying anything, but people are using your emotes. Oh yeah, like, feels so good.
I have currently, like, as I've kind of been like really evaluating, the metrics and everything like this, because like I said, that's been on my mind quite a lot here. Is the idea of legacy. If JanuaryAndOn never logs on again tomorrow, what would that legacy be? And I don't have a definite answer there, but I was talking with a friend of mine that there are specific moments in content creation, like that, like it's an old Vine where it's just like, hey, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that.
I cannot watch that without smiling. Like, that is like a piece of content ever. Or when Donkey was playing Skyrim, and right at the end of his Donkey Skyrim video, he goes, "What is that, a crab with a monocle? Well, that's where I draw the fucking line." And he turns to his companion and he goes, "Come on, Master Chief, let's get the fuck out of here." And it's Master Chief from Halo, right? Like, these small moments where I'm like, if I could create that, I think I'd be fine. Because I'm not out here. I know I'm not going to make a career out of this. So the idea that like somewhere on the world, somebody's like, God, I'm not having a good day. Let me just type up January and On laughs like a dying goldfish, and like, you know, they have 6 seconds where their day gets a little bit better. I think that's a huge fucking win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it's happened, maybe it hasn't, but also understand that if it does happen, like, very few people in the history of humankind will have something like
Mm.
Yeah.
So if you've made an impact with somebody across the world, like, regardless what your metrics are, the majority of humans in the history of this planet and species will never have lived that. It's pretty fucking cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Nice somber moment to land on.
Yeah, that was.
There's lots of hippos here.
They're
No,
great.
but that's good. And I mean, my biggest, I guess I just like one of the takeaways for this is set yourself goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, having something to achieve
For yourself and for your
is-
viewers to be excited for.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
realistic
really
goals, too.
important.
Yeah.
Realistic goals.
Realistic goals.
It's important to keep yourself motivated, right?
Mhm.
Try new things, but if it doesn't work the first day, that doesn't mean it doesn't work.
Mhm.
New things take time to work.
Mhm.
One of the
Well,
things that
yeah.
I'm trying to do is add more Pokemon content. And yeah, every time I do a
Absolutely.
Pokemon stream, it fucking tanks my numbers, but
Mhm.
I enjoy it and I can make a brand on it. And it takes time to do that stuff.
Mhm.
So put some time into it, put some effort into
Well,
it, put
and
some
that's like,
space on the side for it.
well, and it also, like, this is where time becomes such a huge one, because
Yeah.
another thing that metrics do is it breaks it down by the fucking hour. It is so easy to get obsessed with your hour to hour performance.
Even like your
When, like,
to every 10-minute performance.
yeah, and like,
Jesus.
if you're sitting here, right? So if you're a content creator and 6 months ago you streamed to 10 people, then you had success in a game, and for 4 months you streamed to 30 people. Then you swapped to a new game because you want to go in a direction, and you're at 16 people. That's a win.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it.
Mm-mm.
No, but it is
That's
a
a
win.
win. You are higher than when you started. And if you're like, if you really look at it like a trajectory, you're high. You started higher than where you started.
Yeah.
And on some level, a little bit of streaming is always understanding that growth isn't just, it doesn't look like this.
Not
It's
always.
like, it's this.
Yep.
It sometimes looks like this, and then there's like a little bit coming up at the very end.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, for some people, success is 30 people.
Mhm.
That's a realistic version of success. It really depends on, again, realistic goals.
Mhm.
Yep.
If I wanted, you know, if my only tier for success was 500 people watching, well, my strategy fucking sucks. Like, that's my fault. Like, I
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's like one of the biggest takeaways that I want, that I always try to push, is that if you're setting unrealistic expectations for yourself and then you are not doing the things to achieve those expectations, you are only making this negative atmosphere for yourself. If you're upset that you didn't reach that goal, look at the goal, look at what you're doing, what's happening here that is wrong, because you can change your strategy and you can be successful, whether that strategy is actually how you're streaming or just what your goal is, right? Like, if I said today, I want to make sure that my stream today and every day was 100 viewers average, that's unrealistic as all get
Very
out. You are just going to end stream every single day, look at your numbers and be like, well, fuck, if I can't, if all these other people can do it, but I can't, like, what's the fucking, and then I'm just going to spiral and it's going to be bad and all of that. It's about maintaining that positive, maintaining a positive outlook and understanding that success is a spectrum and it's different for everyone. You know, what I value as success is going to be different from what Skoj values as success is going to be different from what January values as success. And that's the intent of this discussion right here, because all three of us have different goals right now. You know, even and those are all, just those are all valid, and we value them equally for ourselves, right? So my homework assignment to you Make some goals for yourself. If you're doing this, even if it's just like work, right? I have goals for work. My goal for work tomorrow is to write a page of this report, because last week I did fucking nothing.
Yep.
And you know, you can just take this approach in every day of your life and make it a little bit more manageable, a little bit more bite-sized, because we can have gigantic aspirations. Aspirations that are that are well suited for years and years down the road. That can be your ulterior goal. If you want to be the next, you know, Hassan Abi or XQC or, you know, whoever, if you want to be that person, you got to start out somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's a realistic goal, is years into the future. You know? But realistically, being any of those people is not realistic.
No, because
there's 5 of them in the entire world.
And I mean, it's also like, I mean, it's really important to note that, like, one thing that I love about, you know, bringing up. So one thing I love to say, when you're looking for streamers to look up to, you really have to consider who you are before you started streaming.
Yeah.
XQC, Hassan, both of those people had basically careers before they started streaming. So they're not like the best role models to have, because unless you have a history in online young focused politics, you're probably not going to be the next Hassan, right? Unless you're a gamer who played at the top of his level, but was always loud, silly, and was able to kind of like capture certain things, you're not going to be the next XQC.
No.
But that's also like those kind of people, like that's the same kind of thing. Like if you want to become an actor and you only ever look at Tom, right?
I look at who?
Tom Cruise.
Oh, okay.
Right. Like you have to like, there are actors who maybe they're not the household name, but they make a living. They have fun. They do what they got to do. They make, you know, they pay their paychecks. They pay their bills, just like there are broadcasters that do it. And I think one of the unhealthy things to look at is, one, people like assume that if you're not streaming to 20,000 people that you're not eating, and that's just not true. And two, like there is quite a lot of work behind the scenes that I think a lot of people aren't really ready or prepared. I don't know. It's
a lot of people only ever see the face value of Twitch, and like Twitch is the moneymaker, and that's just not true, right? Like it's the same thing with YouTube. Like everyone thinks that like any video with 1 million views on it is raking it in, but realistically, the ad revenue on a video like that is
maybe 100 or 1,000.
It's
sometimes
it's
they
small,
can be very small.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a reason why
it doesn't pay.
And there's a reason why, you know, so many creators have ad breaks in their streams. Yeah. Like you have to do it. Like that sign isn't just there for no reason. Like I'm fortunate enough to be in a situation where I was allowed to shitpost at a company for a year, and they gave me money for doing it eventually. Like, not everybody like it. Also, that's another weird thing. That's like, I love odd brand sponsorships. Like this is a total weird thing if it doesn't make it live, you know, whatever. I fucking love it. Like I've done makeup, I've done cider, I've done beer. I tried to do sex toys, but that fell through. Like I will go out of my way to do weird fucking brand, like not weird, but like
that's awesome.
Your non-gamer sponsorship.
Yeah.
One, they actually
not your
pay.
G Fuel.
They actually fucking pay.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, this space right here in a live environment, that costs fucking money. Like that is space you can sell. Now, you're not owed that money. You've got to convince somebody it's worth it. And I have also like the idea of like alcohol. Like I have made alcohol a center point of my brand for every step of the way. Whether it's drinking, whether it's making cocktails, whether it's just my advice on beer, that is something that I honed in on early. And so it's a dirty word, but influencer. On some level, if you have anybody listening to you, on some level, you're an influencer. And making that kind of like jump, being smart about your brand, about your ideas, and what you can influence makes a lot of sense. I know you could ask the majority of streamers on Twitch, and I will bet money on this that I know more about beer than 99.9% of them.
Yep.
I will be able to tell them, I will be able to help a streamer or a viewer find beer. I'll be able to help a streamer like taste beer. I can introduce a streamer to beer. I guarantee you I know more. So when I partnered with a brewery, that made way more sense than if I partnered with a mouse company. Nobody gives a shit what mouse I use. I fucking...
Yeah.
All right, now, my most popular media over the last 3 days was me missing a spear throw at a lizard that was standing still. It was sitting there. I was playing the forest, and I fucking missed. Nobody cares about my peripherals, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
you're not the gamer god that they want to aspire to, so they don't need the same tech that you need.
Exactly. But if I hit that, I'm going to pretend to be. You know,
you're gonna hype yourself up, and then you're just gonna play.
That's why I'm still trying to get my Chipotle sponsorship, because I eat it every single day as it is. I literally talk about Chipotle every stream.
Just now. I got a code.
That would be another thing. Like,
what,
dude?
I didn't get one.
Put a ton of effort into a spot, something strange, something that matters to you as a person, and make it your fucking brand. Like, you can do it. And there is money out there designed for the companies to spend on people like us. They just don't know we exist yet.
Yep. You got to let them know.
And so, that my main advice be like, dude, find a company you really like and literally like shitpost them. But nicely. Don't fucking send them a gift of a deer.
I don't know. That worked for you.
Yeah.
They're just you. What the fuck? I'm kidding.
Yeah. WTF? Here's your code. Don't message this. Don't message this account again.
Please don't message us again. But
all right.
Yeah, I think that about covers everything that we wanted to talk about today. There's a lot of other things I really want to talk about, but we don't have that much time.
That's fine.
Unless that means we have to talk to you about it again on the next episode.
On the next episode of.
But a thing that we usually are like, we're telling every guest that we have on so far, like our goal for this podcast right now is to just introduce like every single guest that we have on our list pretty much, and just have them on a future episode where we have another guest as well. So we have 2 guests that they either do know each other or don't know each other,
or they don't,
or they hate each other. I'm kidding though.
We're gonna get down to the beef.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be spicy. But no, just talking about just to have the perspectives like kind of clash or come together and just talk about different things. And that's what I kind of really want for this podcast. It'd be kind of fun. So this is our like introductory. Would you want to come back on?
Fuck yeah.
We put him on the spot and he said yes, just like everyone else has.
We did good.
But thank you for joining us today, January. It was cool. It was awesome to pick your brain and get your perspective on things. And I think like we've been saying, like we're trying to destigmatize this kind of topic, normalize talking about it, because it's a huge part of streamer mental health too, right? Just like making sure that you stay in this positive environment by being able to talk about the things that bother you or that you want to talk about. And so I appreciate you being honest and open with us too. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm an open book. I think I would 100%. I am 100% somebody who, if anything I've learned or done, mistakes, wins, losses, are something that could help somebody who wants to take this idea and run with it and do it their full-time job, I will give everything I've done. I'm fearless in that. I've never been one ashamed to talk about the financial side, viewership side, the loss side, the win sides, times I felt good, and I think on some level, like this while streaming feels crowded now, it's going to get more crowded.
Just more every single day.
Every month, every quarter, more and more people streaming. And every year, that barrier for entry gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Where basically a completely functioning just chatting stream can work off of a phone right now.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
every day.
Anytime.
All right.
Happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you again, January. For those of you that want to catch up on more from January and on, you can check out his links all down in the bottom in the description. Click on his Twitter, on his Twitch, on his YouTube, all of those fun things, on his link tree if he has it, all of that stuff, and go check him out and all the things that he does. You do like cocktail and like bartending streams too. I think that's like one of the first streams I ever saw of you, where a clip was like you doing a bartending stream.
He does great.
I used to do it more live. Unfortunately, it was just never something that I could get a ton of traction on Twitch doing.
It's difficult to do that.
I'm actually in. I'll do a little plug. I am.
This is your time to do that. Go for it.
I am currently, and I'm really excited to announce that I am launching a community-focused fan house account that is designed around community cocktails, alcohol education, and I will have industry brewers, cocktail like professional mixologists involved, as well as custom cocktails, fan-made cocktails, all sorts of things. That's going to be directly aimed at creating responsible alcohol consumption, as well as being a lot. And
hell yeah!
I've got a lot of really neat plans there. I've already got brewers lined up to do Q&As and stuff like that. So it's going to be
that's awesome.
Be a really, really neat. And
so is this going to teach me how to expand my palate beyond IPAs and rum and Coke?
I mean, I can't expand your palate beyond the best beer of all time. IPAs are the tip top. So sorry if, I'm kidding. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And this will include anything from, if you like X beer, you should watch Y, to
hell yeah,
what this beer is and why it is. I really want it to be a full circle thing of, if you really like cocktails, well, here's a cocktail that you may have never had. And
hell yeah.
If you had your dad's Coors Light one time and thought it was disgusting, well, here you go. I've got some resources for you.
Yeah.
Anything but Coors Light.
So this is okay. So the tough thing is actually. So I have actually spent time among brewers who under their label go out millions of gallons a year, like global supply chain. And the thing about Coors Light, Bud Light, Budweiser is, it doesn't taste like a lot, but they are 100% consistent. You can get a Coors Light here, in Mexico, in northern Canada, and in Asia, and that beer will taste the exact same no matter where on the planet you open. And it's a bummer that that's what they want it to make it taste like, but it is a huge achievement to have that kind of like quality control on that level, because this is a wild problem. They are actively taking a creature that is alive and making it shit out alcohol that we get. Like, that's really fucking cool.
No one has ever explained beer that way, but it's honestly perfect.
Yeah.
Yeast eats sugar and poop out alcohol. So that's what we're drinking, by the way.
Yeast is the most efficient creature in the entire world. God, I can't believe it.
We gotta do a drinking podcast at some point and invite January.
I'm down.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I'd be down.
I'll give you a list and we'll just fucking go down it.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. All right.
Yeah.
That'd be the coolest thing ever. Now we have to actually do it.
Oh yeah.
So if you guys want to keep in touch, with January and his future fan house. Make sure you follow him on all of his socials so you can keep all that stuff going.
Everything being
thank you guys very
below.
much. Yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this episode of Gamer Breakfast. Enjoy your what's our slogan? Frosted Flakes and G Fuel.
Put us in your mouth. That's our slogan.
No. Add Skoy.
All right.
Cut.
Stream.